Hey world, it's Tobo. It's February 9th, 2013, and welcome to the party. I am here to try my hand at casting, and the game I'm going to be casting is James1221 versus CanadianBacon from the Insight New Year's Cup. And, well, if this all goes well, hopefully this is going to be a weekly occurrence. Saturdays, 9 o'clock Eastern at twitch.tv/Toboshi, which you're here right now, so I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I just did. So, So without further ado, let's get into the matches. Round 1, James as Sniper, with CanadianBacon as Generalissimo. Seduction target is the elusive man with the red tie. As we kick things off here, CanadianBacon just going to hang out in a conversation on his own, trying to avoid lowlights early on, which can be very important. Early lowlights can spell disaster sometimes, especially on smaller maps. Now, we are playing any 3 of 4, which is slightly more spy favored than is normal, but it should make for some faster shots anyways. Generally makes for shorter games, which are quite often more fun. CanadianBacon's still just standing in that conversation, spending a lot of time just trying to avoid the highlight, but he's not getting anything done in the meantime. He's gotten one flirt in, quite likely, but it wouldn't have been a very good one. He's on the opposite side of the conversation from his seduction target. Now, James here already has 3 highlights, but as I've said, none of them are bacon, so that's fine for him.
Banana bread.
But as that banana bread goes off, one of those highlights is immediately innocent. It wasn't a very good banana bread, all things considered. He got like 3 highlights just from that. Lowlights, I mean. Just from that. Could have gotten another one as well. And CanadianBacon still in that conversation. He's finally moving away now to the window, but he's snuggled up really close to white danger there, so James is probably going to be mentally pairing those two, which isn't a real problem since that's not the seduction target. Snaps is coming in to say hi as CanadianBacon heads off to another lonely conversation circle all by himself. He's really not getting any missions done now, which is going to be a problem. He's got his double agent finished. He has to inspect statues, which takes a second. Seduce target, which will take a while considering how little of it he's got done. And bug ambassador, which can go really quickly if you find an opening. That opening, though, is quite often not easy to find. And CanadianBacon is still just hanging out in that conversation by snaps. There's less than a minute left here. He's really going to have to motor if he wants to get all these missions done. And James doesn't really seem to be following anyone in particular. If anyone, I'd have to say white danger. But still, he doesn't seem to have any real suspects at this point. CanadianBacon, 30 seconds to go. Something's going to have to happen. It'll be almost impossible to get the missions done at this point. He's going to have to either frame someone or just hope that James takes an uneducated shot. 10 seconds left. Bacon by the windows may well try to add time here, but he doesn't. James zooms in. He's going to take a shot on white danger, but the time runs out before he can. Spy has run out of time. 1-0 for James so far. Bacon just playing it a bit too cautious. It can be very difficult to shake that fear, especially in a high-pressure situation like this, especially with someone who you know has so many more games on you. but we'll have to see how he performs as sniper, as James is selecting his cast, and actually selecting it, not just clicking through, which is interesting. And we're ready to go into round 2. James as spy, CanadianBacon as sniper. James waits until he's in a conversation circle, having landed safely in order to take control, in order to, well, not rush anything for one, but also avoid the early highlight, which is always good. He's going to go to the bookshelf to get a quick seduce off, but he missed his landing fairly badly. Hopefully Bacon didn't notice that, and it doesn't look like he did. Though, and even with the ambassador snuggling up to him there, he's not really going to be suspicious if CanadianBacon didn't see the failed landing. He was holding a book the whole time. There's no way he really could have bugged. So, James is in the clear so far. No highlight as far as I can tell. And about a quarter of his seduce done. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, he's on track. And his seduction target decides to snuggle up and say hi. With the green test as well, that'll put James at almost a full seduce. Say thanks to the AI, boys. James is feeling good right now. He goes over to the statues to knock one more mission out of the way. I still don't think he's been highlighted, but I'm not sure. But he hits a red test on the inspect. He's going to have to either put the statue down and wait for another one, but he goes into the third cycle, try to get the third inspect. Will CanadianBacon see it? Yes, he does! CanadianBacon, with the keen eye on the statues, ties it up 1-1. As we go into the second map, which unusually is going to be balcony this time. Now normally, the way the tournament works, there are 2 different formats the players can use for what format they want the games to be in. Either everything played on ballroom, any 3 of 4, or 2 on ballroom, any 3 of 4, 2 on courtyard 2, any 4 of 5, and then 2 on balcony, any 2 of 3. Now the weird thing is they're switching to balcony before courtyard. I think they're the only ones who did this, but I can't confirm that as we getting ready to go back into the second game here. First on balcony with James as sniper. CanadianBacon is Sir Top Hat there. Brimsworth Buckswoggle. Seduction target is Snaps McGee. So he got one really quick seduce in, I'm assuming, anyways. So, if that was a green test, he'd have about half of his flirt done at this point, which is always a great start. The reason James has those 3 highlights in particular are because they're the ones that started in the conversation, which is a rather strange tactic that I don't normally see, but if it works for him, I don't see why not. Now a white banana bread goes off here, and I didn't see if Snaps was talking, so our good friend Buckswoggle is definitely going to be one of the top, if not the top suspect right now. Getting another great chance to flirt here with Snaps by his side. Now, it's possible at this point that he has his seduces done, and I would assume he was, considering how far he went from Snaps when he entered that conversation, but the game's not over yet, and that was a real banana bread, so I guess he doesn't have his seduces done, which is not good, because he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. 18 seconds and counting. He has to get up to Snaps to finish that flirt. 10 seconds left now. It's going to go into overtime if he does get it. And considering he's the top suspect, that's really not very good right now. There's the flirt. Zoom in. He's going to have to dodge around for the next few seconds, and but the shot comes off. 8 seconds he had to dodge. 6 seconds, actually, which is still quite a tall order, especially on balcony. James pulls ahead in the balcony. It's 2-1 at the moment in favor of James, as we're getting ready to pull into the second game on balcony with CanadianBacon as sniper and James as spy. There's just some discussion going on right now between the players about what exactly happened that game, why he got highlight so close to the beginning, just because he went in the conversation early, which was a bit of a shame. But as the second game looks like it's about to get underway, just picking the cast right now, we're almost ready to step in. Here we go. James once again waits till the AI has safely landed at its destination before taking control. Takes a quick drink, ready to head, I'm assuming, into the middle conversation. Gets a pretty good flirt in. It wasn't a green, but it'll do. It got him about, I'd say, a little over a quarter of the bar filled. 2 more should do it for the flirt. But the AI don't seem to want to be spending a whole lot of time in this conversation, so banana bread right now isn't something that can really happen, but the ambassador decided to snuggle up to him. CanadianBacon's watching it pretty closely. It was smart of him not to bug. He got another flirt in. It wasn't a particularly good one, considering how far he was away from the seduction target, though. So with the seduction is a word, about half done, he's going to have to get a really good one with the green test in order to finish that up. He's got 50 seconds left on the clock, more than enough time to get his missions done. He's halfway through a flirt, and he doesn't have any other missions complete at this time, so it could be a little rushed. Here he comes in for his flirt. But his seduction target bails on him. This could be a huge problem. He's got 30 seconds left. He's going to have to rush it. He doesn't have his flirt done. He doesn't have any other missions done. Here comes the banana bread, but it was a white test, which could hugely throw him into suspicion. And apparently actually gets him shot. CanadianBacon pulling it back 2-2 as we're getting ready, I suppose, to head into the final map, which will be Courtyard 2. It seems that a lot of the suspicion cast upon James before the shot was just because of how much he was talking. I didn't notice a particularly large amount of talking, but I wasn't really looking for it. I was just, well, casting my little heart out, basically. So, now we're heading into Courtyard. And Courtyard is the biggest map in the pool, certainly a hell of a lot bigger than Balcony. It's got a spire in the middle with the statue on it that the spy can hide behind if he needs to get a quick swap in or bug the ambassador. And the sniper generally has to split his attention between the statues and the ambassador. So doing a banana bread in order to distract the sniper can be a great tactic to get something else done. As we're going into the game here, CanadianBacon as dark green dress. His seduction target is light green dress. And once again, CanadianBacon starts by being completely and totally not suspicious. Quick watch check, but it wasn't a time ad as far as I can tell. Decides to chat it up with the ambassador for a little while. Now James is really just rotating around here, putting a highlight on everyone who goes to the statues quickly. Quite often spies will kind of almost rush the statues to see if they can get a swap in before the snipers found out, before the snipers memorized what the statues are. But quite often it's just to get the inspects done as soon as possible to stop worrying about it so much. Now, CanadianBacon, still in that conversation. I don't think he's moved anyways. Just chatting it up, being inconspicuous. Now, he's had problems with this before. In the last 2 games, he struggled to get his missions done on time. He's somewhat of a nervous player as a spy, it seems, and it's very easy to lock up and just try to be as inconspicuous as possible. But that can be difficult to do when you have to get your missions done, and quite often newer players especially will forego missions in order to get not shot. Now, I can only assume that was a fake banana bread, considering, well, I don't actually see any suspected double agents in the conversation with him. But that's the way it goes. I haven't really been looking out for seduces either, but I don't think he's been able to get in enough to complete his seduce. Here he goes, 40 seconds left, goes for the bug, but James, always looking at the ambassador, always with his eyes open, saw the bug right off, and that will put James ahead 3-2. As we move in to what could possibly be the final round of this series. Now, even though CanadianBacon had almost no time left, he was very much able to get his missions done. If he had got that bug in, he was headed to the statues. He could have got his inspects in right away, and if he had the opportunity, immediately done the swap as well. That's how I think he was planning to get his missions done in such a short period of time. And it may have worked had James not shut him down on the bug so early on. As we go into round 6 here, James, once again, letting his AI bring him to safety into this quite large conversation. It's a shame the double agent's not there with him. That would have been prime time for a banana bread. He hasn't done much at this point. He's still just trying to avert suspicion early on before he starts to get some work done on the missions. He's been standing at this window a long time though, which tends to be somewhat unusual. Once again, his seduction target is very helpful to him. Gets a quick flirt off with a bit over a quarter of the way done on the seduction. And while the sniper is on the other side of the screen, steps out and back into the conversation, which is a really sneaky way of getting a second flirt in a single conversation when the sniper's not looking. But the sniper, CanadianBacon, picks the wrong target. And that will finish off this series. James pulls it out 4-2. CanadianBacon thought he had seen the target in question go into a third cycle in the statues, which is exactly how he got her the first time around in the ballroom game. But just lost track of it a little bit. So James takes it home. 4-3. 4-2, I mean. That game was actually quite a bit more suspenseful than I had anticipated, which is cool because James had so many more wins than CanadianBacon at this point. CanadianBacon being a relative newbie to the game. Entered into the tournament, it was actually neat to see how many newbies entered into the tournament. And CanadianBacon putting up a damn good showing against James there. Hopefully, as I said, I'll be doing this again next Saturday, same time, 9 o'clock Eastern. But until then, this is Taboshi, signing off.